all systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, everybody? We're back. My man Rio and I talking some hoops. 5 games today. Hey, 5 games ain't bad on a Tuesday. Big boy slate yesterday. Big boy slate tomorrow. Excited to talk some hoops. Rio, we're going to do a lot of if-then scenarios. It's only 5 games, but injury news, like a 10-game slate. The importance, very crazy, but we will get the Dallas Lakers game. A lot of the news is the first game of the night, 7:30 Eastern. So we will get that news. We'll be in the Discord, everything on the site. We'll be updated. Bringing you in, though, man. How you doing on this Tuesday afternoon?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. We had a really big weekend in SHIPIT over the weekend for football, like over $600,000 in wins, which is just insane. I was able to contribute a little bit to that. Missed out on the main slate for NFL, but played some afternoon. Had a little shipper over there, so it's been a decent weekend for me. As far as that goes. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about the slate. Decent amount of injury news as well. Pretty big injury news. We'll get to it as it comes. We'll obviously get all that news before the game locks, which will be nice. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about 5-game slate as opposed to a huge 13 gamer yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wanted to shout out DFS Juice. So great night to you on Sunday. A lot of big wins yesterday as well. DFS Juice, our guy, is giving away free memberships, always around. He had a big win yesterday, and then another one in the NFL Discord. Let me try and find it quick. He was third or fourth place for $32,000. CK Fly. Shout out to you as well, CK Fly. 31,000, fourth place. Awesome team there. Congrats to the winners. Yeah, it's been amazing over here. No NFL today. NHL, big prize pools over there. We do have you covered. NHL streets, also NBA, of course. 5-game slate. And we do have that promo code still going. Try 20. We do have a weekly, 6-month, and annual package. Annual, the best deal. But for monthly, $69 a month. Use this code Try 20. $20 off. Gets you down to $49 a month. Gets you in the Discord too. Weekly, no Discord access. That is definitely a huge part of our content then. Or is our part of our content. Over here, CHCH. I knew it. You were talking salty crew hat. No hat equals no winning. I don't like that mojo, my man. Win me some money title. I was going to try Dante, but CH already got that bad mojo on my side. There's my man Juice. Good stuff. Who else we got in here? Marquis, what's going on? Good stuff on Saturday. Paraby, Michael W., JB Knox, Brian England, Sean Sullivan, William wins a lot of familiar faces. Evan in here, Lachlan. Hope everybody out here having a good day. We appreciate that like button. Appreciate that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Rio, before we get game by game, you want to tell the people, I mentioned the injury news we're waiting on. Talk about what Q tags, and then we'll go game by game and talk more about if-then scenarios.
Yes, I mean, the biggest one is definitely the we got DFS Juice. If you want to hit that in Discord.
Yep.
Yes, the big news is the Luka injury news. Got downgraded to questionable beginning of the day, so they're already going to be pretty thin. Kyrie is going to be out. Josh Green already out. Getting Grant Williams back, but you have Tim Hardaway Jr., Derrick Jones Jr., and all of Luka questionable. So, I mean, this could be a huge value spot. You could probably end up playing 4 to 5 guys on the Mavericks realistically if they're going to be that thin. I mean, that's a big one. LeBron, Anthony Davis, both questionable. I think AD has usually been probable, but now he's downgraded to questionable. So, I mean, there's a good chance one of them sits. Maybe they both play, but maybe one sits tonight, one sits tomorrow. They're on a back-to-back. So that would definitely change up the slate a ton too. Jared Vanderbilt, questionable. This is a new injury, so this is not the same injury that he was missing the beginning of the season with. This is a back injury. So another new injury for him. Those are the big ones. But I mean, you have Jamal Murray questionable. You got Alex Caruso questionable. Karis LeVert questionable. I mean, he probably come back tonight. But I mean, the big one is the the Mavericks and the Lakers game.
Yep. We'll go game by game. Again, I'll remind people of the Q-tags we're waiting on, but 5:30 Eastern, 30 minutes later than usual, the Lakers and Mavericks is the game we're waiting on. Injury news, I'm not going to backload after that. So whatever news we get, I'm going to run my lineups like that. Of course, then we have 2 games later, 8 p.m. and 8:30 Eastern, to monitor late swaps and stuff like that. But we'll get into it. And again, shout out to you, DFS Juice. I DM'd you in Discord. He wants to give away 2 1-month memberships. So I'm trying to think of something, Rio, if you can think of something, how to choose someone guessing something in chat, something like that. But if you're still listening, check your DMs, DFS Juice. Maybe you can help me out. Let's get to the first game of the night, Rio. Again, 5:30 my time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern start. Cleveland Cavaliers, Boston Celtics, 224.5 total. Boston is favored by 12. Injuries in this one. Evan Mobley or Karis LeVert's questionable. Someone mentioned Evan Mobley in chat earlier, but LeVert's questionable. And then you go to the other side for Boston. They are healthy. And then you look at ownership in this game. Don't see much, even with Karis out. I still don't think much gets to the Cavs side as far as Boston. Yeah, I mean, maybe a little Derek White. I don't think much ownership at all in this first game, though. 5-game slate, make it a 4-game slate, or do you see any pieces in this one?
Yeah, there's a couple pieces I'm semi-interested in. Not a ton of interest in this game as a whole, but I mean, both these teams are pretty solid defensively. Celtics top 4 in the league in defensive rating, Cleveland top 8. Both these teams are really solid interior defenses. They give up slightly more points to 3-point shooters. So guys like Max Strus on the Cavaliers side could be in play. I mean, he's been pretty solid this year. Normally a guy that's just been a 3-point threat, but he's added some more peripherals to his game, more rebounding, more assist upside. So he's a fine play at 6,400. And on the Celtics side, Derek White, probably my favorite play from the starters. He's been just really, really solid this year. Seems like to me the best point per dollar play on the Celtics side, considering he's the cheapest starter, and he's been one of the most consistent pieces of the Celtics side in terms of DraftKings scoring. Scored no less than 31 DK points in 6 games in his last 6 games, and he's gone over 41 half of those games. So he seems like a pretty solid play at 6,400 as well. Just have a tough time getting up to the Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, Drew Holiday. Just don't see a ton of upside from any of those guys, particularly when they're all healthy. Fine price tag for Jason Tatum, though, under 10K, 9.9. It's basically 10K, but he's been fine this year. I don't love the matchup. Don't love this game environment. I'll probably just be max 1 Tatum, Jaylen Brown if you did want to get into those guys, but I'll probably end up fading most of the Celtics side outside of Derek White. And I mean, the LeVert news doesn't really do much for me. Maybe if he's in, you could play him. He's only 5,400, but I would assume he'd be on a pretty strict minutes limit considering he's been out for quite some time. So I don't think that he's a smash play by any means. And all of the secondary guys are pretty priced up if LeVert were to be out. So like none of them really scream value. George Niang 4.9, Okoro's 4.8, Dean Wade 4.4, and he barely scores any points. So yeah, it's mainly just Derek White and Max Strus in this game for me.
Yeah, so Mobley is out. Jared Allen, centers it loaded again, as most slates. I still don't like Jared Allen for the 6-7 price tag. I don't like this game. I would definitely max 1 Tatum Brown, like you said. I think D-Mitch is interesting as a contrarian spend as well, but that's probably how I'd go about this game. 5-game slate, make it a 4-game slate. Pretty low total, big spread. This next game's the big game on the slate, though. DFS Juice, let's see if he got back to me. He didn't get back to me yet, but after this game, we will have how to win. Again, 2 months. DFS Juice is giving out 1 month to do it for members. Shout out to you, man. Really appreciate it. And again, congrats to you. Next game, Lakers, Dallas. Big injury news in this one. Lakers are 4.5-point favorites, 231 total. Going to the Lakers side, we are waiting on AD and LeBron, both questionable. Jared Vanderbilt questionable as well. On the Dallas side, Luka, Derek Jones, and Tim Hardaway all questionable. Kyrie and Josh Green are out. I mean, man, if like even two of the 3 on Dallas are ruled out, you'll have to load up on them. What are your thoughts? LeBron's always Q. AD, like, are you just assuming they're in? The Dallas side, I'm not so sure of. Do you think, like, if Dallas rules some of their guys out, if Luka's ruled out, then they maybe sit one of them? Talk about your whole thoughts on this one.
Yeah, so there's definitely a chance that if Luka gets ruled out, that the Lakers just say, okay, let's give one of AD or LeBron a rest tonight. But I'm kind of coming into it thinking that both of them play, just because this is a game on TNT. So yeah, nationally televised game. LeBron always wants to play those ones. It is a little bit worrisome that Anthony Davis is now questionable when he's been probable. But I mean, he just came off of a huge performance, played 41 minutes in the in-season tournament championship game. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him sit, but it makes a little bit more sense for one of them to sit tomorrow. I think that they're playing the Spurs. So that should be a game that they should win pretty easily. This feels like a game that both these teams are going to want to win. So I think that all these guys are going to try to get out there and play. But yeah, I mean, the Lakers side, that's what I think. But Luka, I think it's a pretty true questionable. He got dinged up towards the end of the game. I think it's a back injury for him, and he was kind of coming out limping after the game. He said that both of his knees were swollen as well. He played 44 minutes last night, so I mean, there's a really good chance that he sits, and if not, I mean, he could probably be pretty limited. I mean, that's, he only didn't play 4 minutes of the game last night, so that's pretty tough on your body when you're that banged up. Derrick Jones Jr., he took a knee to knee last game, and that's kind of what ruled him out. He started off super hot. I don't really have a strong lean if he's in or out. I mean, if you take a knee and you have to sit out for the whole game, I would imagine that would keep you out for another game or two. So, I mean, if he's out, that's going to open up a ton of minutes for Dante Exum, Grant Williams, those type of guys. And yeah, I don't really have a strong lean on Tim Hardaway Jr. He was downgraded last game. Just he was not on the injury report. They got downgraded to questionable, then to out. Maybe there's a chance that he plays. Maybe they just knew that it was a back-to-back and they needed him tonight. So, maybe he's in. I don't really have a strong lean. I wish I did have a better lean, but yeah, in terms of the matchup, Lakers have been picking up their defense a lot this year. They're in the top 7 in D rating, and the Mavericks, on the other hand, are bottom 8. Mavericks playing up in pace this year. The Lakers are doing a really good job of taking away the interior scoring, so I think that would take away guys like Derek Lively, guys that are mostly operating around the rim, but they're giving up a ton of three-pointers this year. Bottom 4 in three-pointers allowed per game. And the Mavericks on the other side are bottom 9 in rim points allowed. So LeBron, AD should have no issues with this matchup if they were to play. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to break down what you're seeing from an injury standpoint. It would definitely be helpful, because it's kind of tough to break it down when you don't really have all the information.
For sure, yeah. No, you did a great job, and yeah, we'll be in Discord. Cores will be updated. Projections, obviously, and that's a huge part. I'm thinking LeBron and AD play again. We will get this news before lock. The Dallas side's interesting. Like the Derrick Jones, I'm assuming at least one of these Dallas guys are out, is my guess if I had to lean. Even if they're all in, though, like Dante Exum right now will be the most popular play on the slate. And if any of those guys are ruled out, he only becomes better. I'll be probably locking Dante Exum is what I'm thinking. If the Jones Jr., the Hardaways, even if Luka's in, like, then Seth Curry, people are already bringing him up, is pretty interesting. Grant Williams also gets a boost. If Derrick Jones is out, like the minutes, I'm going to be playing a lot of these Dallas guys. Even if all 3 of them are ruled in, like I said, I still love Exum. What are your thoughts on like Luka then? Like, I don't think anyone would really get to Luka at that price tag. Do we have enough value on this slate? I'm not quite sure there. Talk about Lively a little bit too, because Center's loaded today, and I think Lively will be one of the most popular. But you mentioned, I mean, AD's no slouch down there. They're tough in the paint. Is that something we can get away from? Maybe Grant in the corner for a little value. What are your thoughts? I'm speaking out loud with you, but it's going to be pretty easy. I mean, if any of these guys are ruled out, the slate's easy. If AD or LeBron's out, you jam them. You play all these Reeves and all the other ones. And if Luka or these guys are out, you play all the Dallas. Even if everyone's in this game, I still probably think it's the best game on the slate. But Exum's for sure a core play, regardless what happens for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. In terms of Lively, it really just depends on if Anthony Davis is in. I mean, I mentioned this a lot whenever there's a pretty solid center on the opposite side of AD. Mentioned it in the in-season tournament championship game that, Miles Turner, he does have a ton of upside, but the downside is to him. The downside for people that are defending Anthony Davis is just big foul trouble. And you saw he fouled out in like 22, 24 minutes, something like that. So that would be the downside for Lively. But he's been playing super well lately. He got 16 rebounds last game, had another 16 rebound game a couple of games before against OKC. So if Anthony Davis is out, I would definitely have a lot more interest in Lively, because then he'll be going up against guys like Jackson Hayes and maybe Christian Wood gets back into the rotation. But yeah, go ahead.
What are your thoughts on Jaden Hardy? Obviously, we would need some of these guys ruled out, but let's say Hardaway and Jones, or one of the two, are out. Do you have a take on this? I think you can play them both. If Luka's out for sure, then these guys that's when you really get the big boost. So I guess how much would the Jones Jr. Hardaway would be more, in my opinion, but what are your thoughts there?
So I think Hardy obviously would become a really good play if Luka was out, but even if Luka is in and Tim Hardaway Jr. is out, then I still think he's in play, because they won't have any sort of ball handling behind Luka if Tim Hardaway Jr. doesn't play, because Kyrie is usually the guy that will be taking up some of the ball handling role, but behind him it would be Tim Hardaway Jr. being more of a ball handler when in the non-Luka minutes. So I think that you would need one of Tim Hardaway Jr. and Luka to be out to get to Hardy, I think. And if both of them are in,
Seth too.
I think Seth is kind of fine where he is. He should probably get the start. Yeah, I think he's probably fine just because he's more of a catch and shoot guy, and this is a pretty good matchup for him. You just kind of see Jaden Hardy's minutes get cut down when they have multiple ball handlers in there. So I think that you need one of Luka or Hardaway to be out for him to be a really good play.
Yeah, just to wrap a bow on this game, I think we touched on the Dallas side really well. Lakers side, even if LeBron and AD are in, AD is going to get some ownership. He has that power forward eligibility as well, which is big. The price tag's good. Like, value isn't great on this slate. If everyone's ruled in, like, that's why, like, Luka, he's a good play. Like, he projects very well. He's just way up there. And with the lack of value that we have right now, it'd be more the mid-tier build, and AD would be more of the priority there. And even if they're all in, Reeves, very good price tag. D-Russ, Taurean Prince, Cam Reddish, like, all of them I think will be in play. And that's just because the lack of value we have right now for the Taurean Princes, the Cam Reddish. If some value opens up, like if these Lakers are in, but the two, Hardaway and Derrick Jones, are out, then you'd go to the Dallas side and get the value with the Grant Williams and stuff, is how I'm seeing this game. Lay the house misses your stash. I mean, he'll be back tomorrow. He'll probably have a full stash. That's how fast this man can grow it. What's going on, Jake? Hope everything's well. All right, so DFS Juice did. We found out how we're going to do it, give it away. You can only put your answer in once in YouTube chat. If no one gets it in like 5 minutes or something, we'll redo it. But if you do it twice, you're automatically banned. 2 memberships, or 2 people, 1 month memberships, 2 players between 5 and 7K on DraftKings on this slate today. Go. Only put 1 player. We have 2 memberships to give. When you get one, I'll be looking in the chat. But 1 player between 5 and 7K. He picked 2 of them. Shout out to you, DFS Juice. Next game on the slate, Denver Nuggets, Chicago Bulls, 220 total. Denver is favored by 7.5. Injury news in this one as well. Jamal Murray is questionable. If he's out, Reggie Jackson slides into point guard. Becomes a strong play. If you have any lean on that, let me know. Bulls side, Levine is out. Caruso is questionable. I'll just throw it right to you in this game. Again, the same thing. We're talking Luka goes with Jokic. I think he's going to be pretty low. Relative to this late, he's going to be low owned. And that's because the center position is loaded and the lack of value right now. If the value opens up in that Dallas game, Jokic is even easier to get and be a stronger play there. Do you think you can get to him right now? Any leans on Jamal? What are you doing in this one?
Yeah, I don't think I'll be getting to Jokic on this slate. I mean, if I'll be playing 50 to 70 lineups tonight, so I'll definitely have some of him in my portfolio. But the value right now, as it seems, is not that good. Obviously, it would change a lot if we get the Dallas news that we need. Then you could probably get up to Jokic and some other guys. But in terms of a game environment, I mean, this game is going to be pretty gross, pretty low total. Both these teams are bottom 5 in pace. The Bulls are the number 1 slowest pace team, and Nuggets are number 5. Both these teams are bottom 2 and 3 in transition scoring. Nuggets love to just get set up in the half-court offense. They're one of the most efficient half-court offenses in the league, so they're gonna take their time getting their offense going. So nothing really stands out. They're not gonna be like extra possessions in this game just with how slow it's gonna play. So on the Nuggets side, if everybody's in, Jamal Murray's in, then it's pretty much just gonna be Jokic or bust for me. Had a bounce back game last night in terms of shooting, got up to 25 points, 9 of 13 shooting after the 2 really down games. And this will be the second time that these teams have faced off this year. Last time Jokic went for 28, 16, and 9, which is a pretty solid score. I mean, when I wrote last night, I preferred Luka over Jokic, but now with just all the injury news and Luka might be a little bit monitored on minutes, then I probably prefer Jokic over him. But the matchup is just it's about neutral. Jokic can always go off. Maybe he is kind of getting his rhythm back scoring, so he's fine. The matchup for Jamal Murray, I mean, is pretty good. So if he does play, then he's a pretty solid play. I mean, the Bulls are, I think they're dead last in three-pointers allowed per game, and Jamal Murray's minutes are starting to creep up. Got to 32 minutes last game, but his injury, it's a new ankle injury, so there's a chance that he sits out too. He injured his left ankle last game when it's the right one that has been injured all year. So there's definitely a chance that he sits, and like you said, that would put Reggie Jackson to the starting lineup. I think he could definitely be in play at 6,300 if Jamal is out. I mean, this is a sneaky good matchup for Michael Porter Jr. also, just with the catch and shoot stuff, but 7.6K is really expensive for him with Aaron Gordon back, with Jokic there, with possibly Jamal Murray there. So I have a tough time paying that price tag for him. And then on the Bulls side, I mean, the Bulls will be really thin again if Alex Caruso were to miss. I mean, he's just been picking up a new injury every single game he plays, it seems like. So, I mean, there's definitely a chance that he sits. But there's also a possibility that him sitting last night was just due to the fact that it was a back-to-back and maybe they wanted to get him out there for this game. But regardless, Kobe White would be my preferred Bull. I mean, he's just been playing out of his mind lately. Minutes have just been huge. Got up to 45 minutes last game. Been seeing no less than like 39, 38 minutes over like the last 6 or 7 games. He's been shooting lights out too. Last 11 games, he's shot over 40% from 3 in all but one of those games. And he's been up in like the 50, 60 range, which is just like Steph Curry-like numbers. So he's been crushing it. Definitely would prefer him the most on the Bulls side. And then if you want to get into like Patrick Williams, he's fine. 5,700, should play a lot of minutes if Caruso were to be out again. And I originally had Andre Drummond listed in the slate plan just because the value was not that good as of writing it last night. But 4,800, I mean, if there were any issues with Vucevic getting into foul trouble, then that would give Drummond some extra minutes. I mean, he's just been a fantasy monster this year. He had 16 rebounds in 14 minutes last night, so you know that he's got the upside. It's just that's a really like low-owned MME type of play. But yeah, not a ton of interest in this game.
Yeah, good breakdown. I listened to most of it. I was trying. So we only had one person get an answer right, but he put it in twice. That was a second answer that he gave, so I can't count that. So we're going to run it back, but it's going to be different this time. We're going to go Seth, because, I mean, it feels like every single player was listed in that range. And if you are a member, don't put it in here, obviously. Let's let someone, new member, 2 new people try it out. 7K all the way to 9.9K. So I guess the 10K range. Tatum is at 9.9K. 7.2K is Kobe White. DraftKings pricing, go. I have 2 of them. Again, only one answer for you both, or for everyone out there. All right, let's get to the next game, Rio. I don't really have too much to add. Drummond's interesting. If all these guys are rolled in, there really still isn't great value. He projects awful. He's at a great center position, so he literally might be 1% owned. Like you said, he always has that foul trouble out, where that's where he would get those minutes, and he's a point per minute monster. So not the craziest thing. As of right now, I don't think I get to much Jokic, just with the nature of the slate. Again, that's if those Dallas or Lakers guys are rolled out, it opens a lot more value. This is probably my least favorite game. The first game and this game are my least favorite games on the slate. So not much interest for me in this one. And again, those 3 games, we have 7:30, 7:38, And then we have 2-hour break, 10 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And we'll break it down right now. Warriors, Suns, 231 total. Suns are favored by 1. On the Golden State side, Gary Payton's out. That's the only news there. On the Denver side, what am I saying with the Denver side? On the Phoenix side, KD is out. Grayson Allen is out. Devin Booker, 10.4K. We see no KD. I still think the ADs of the world would probably be Paul George, AD, Kawhi. I think they get more ownership. Booker's an interesting contrarian spend. Kind of fits in the D Mitch for me. My 2 favorite contrarian spends, because Jokic and Luka still too expensive for me, but they still have that upside. Anything else besides that? What are your thoughts on Booker and what else in this game?
Yeah, I mean, this game should be really fun just from a viewing standpoint. Not sure how I like it from a fantasy standpoint, though. Just starting with the Warriors side, I mean, they're going to be fully healthy. So, all of Chris Paul, Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, all off the injury report. And when they're fully healthy, kind of tough to pinpoint which one is going to be the one to kind of separate from the pack. So I'll be a lot lower on the Warriors side, maybe just be a max 1 to 2 situation. But I did want to mention Kuminga really quick, because I think Steve Kerr has kind of been hinting at a lineup change. He's been saying that the Draymond Green and Kevon Looney 4-5 starting lineup, as good as it was last year, has not been as good this year. So there's a chance that they bring in, Kuminga or Dario Saric into the starting lineup just to give them a little bit more of a spark, and then bring Looney in off the bench. So Kuminga has been playing pretty well lately too. So he would probably be my favorite Warrior, but not projecting very well right now. It obviously could change if he's announced a starter. But yeah, don't really have a ton of interest in the Warriors side. And then on Phoenix, I was hoping that KD would play. It would have been the first time that we saw the big 3 for Booker, Beal, and KD play together this season. But unfortunately, he's going to miss another game. Yeah, Devin Booker, like you said, he's going to be really low owned. I think he's a pretty solid spend up too. His role as the lead ball handler this year has been really good. He's leading the team in time of possession with 7.2 minutes. Usage is up to 28.4%. He's leading the team in assist percentage. So he's a really strong play. I did like it a little bit better with Kevin Durant in, just because he would have got probably a weaker defender in one of Clay or Curry or something like that. But now he'll probably see Andrew Wiggins, who's been a pretty solid on-ball defender his whole career. But the usage is going to be there. The minutes should be really high. So I like Devin Booker a lot as a spend up. Nurkic is pretty tough to get to. I just think that this is a matchup that he could kind of get played off of the floor, just with how the Warriors like to play with more small ball stuff. 7.4K is pretty tough, but the Warriors are pretty bad against centers on the year, surprisingly. So if you want to spend up for him at 7.4K as a contrarian type spend up, then by all means go ahead. And yeah, I'm going to take a wait and see approach on Bradley Beal. I just don't think that his minutes are going to be full right now. I think he could probably be limited to 24 to 26-ish minutes after just being in and out of the lineup all season. So he's going to be a fade for me. And then all like the secondary guys, Eric Gordon is a little bit too expensive. Okogie, Keita Bates-Diop don't really have any sort of upside. Maybe this is a game where Drew Eubanks gets a little bit more minutes over Nurkic, just with the play style, with him being more like a small ball center. So he would be a fine value option. But there's one person way down at 3.9K that's been kind of popping off as a value option right now, is Chimezie Metu. He got up to 23 minutes last game against Sacramento. Not sure if that was just more like a revenge narrative type thing, but he's like a small ball power forward center. So this could be a matchup where he sees a little bit extra minutes. We have him projected for about 17 minutes right now. So that would be, if nothing else opens up, then he could definitely be a value option. But I really don't have a ton of interest in this game outside of Devin Booker and then a little bit of Kuminga.
Any thoughts on Wiggins or Clay? I mean, man, it's gross clicking these game logs, but assume like if all these Dallas and Lakers guys are in, fits that mid-tier build. We know we've seen the ceiling in the past. I mean, really, like, I love that Dallas Lakers game, and outside of that, these other games are kind of just meh. Like, I'll pick a couple pieces off. This late game, there's I guess a couple pieces I like, but really nothing stands out to me outside of this Lakers Dallas game, and a lot of that I think has to do with just not much value. But Any thoughts on Wiggins or Clay? I think I'm going to get some.
No, I don't think I'll have much of them. Yeah, it's just tough to find a ceiling from any of these guys. Somebody did mention that Klay Thompson likes to show out against Devin Booker. Yeah, I guess, but I mean, his minutes have been up. He got up to 39 minutes last game. He still only got to 29 DraftKings points. I just don't really know like what is his ceiling. He doesn't add any peripherals really. He has to score a lot of points, and he's just not been shooting the ball all that well this year. So I'd be fine. I mean, if I had to choose one, I'd prefer Wiggins, just small forward, power forward eligible. He's cheaper, but man, I mean, the floor is really low for all of these guys that are not named Draymond Green and Steph Curry pretty much.
Yeah, and I think they both very well could start with no Grayson Allen as well. I think it's those two. There's two spots left to start. It's going to be Beal, Book, Nurkic, and then probably those two, or maybe Eric Gordon.
It'll probably be Eric Gordon, and then I would guess Okogie.
You think it's Gordon over? All right.
Yeah.
And we did. You are right, Jake. It was MPJ. The other one, no one did guess though. So I'm gonna think of something quick. Jake, the man, you're always in here. You won a membership from DFS Juice. Email info@shipitnation.com. Take a picture of your YouTube, and we'll get you hooked up there. And let's see how I want to do this other one. All right, we just talked about that game. Golden State, Phoenix. I have somebody in mind in that game. Put it in chat. Go. Last game on the slate, Rio. Any final thoughts on that Golden State Phoenix? I think we covered it pretty well. Not great. Not a very exciting game. Jordan says rigged. Phoenix or Sacramento Kings, Los Angeles Clippers, 235.5 total. Clippers are favored by 3. Going to the injury report on the Clippers side. Nothing at all we have to worry about. Going to the other side for the Kings. Nothing we have to worry about. In terms of ownership, again, I mentioned, I think the studs, assuming everyone's in, AD, PG, Kawhi, all are the highest owned studs, given their prices. Harden, 7.8K. On the other side, Sabonis, definitely a contrarian spend. De'Aaron Fox, a contrarian spend. I like Booker. I like D-Mitch more. The Keegan Murrays, the Kevin Huerters of the world, like they kind of fit that mid-tier build. It's a tough slate, man. My favorites in this game, like I said, I prefer D-Mitch. I prefer Booker. It'd probably be these mid-tier guys, the Keegan Murrays of the world. I do not love it at all. I don't know, Trey Lyles, Malik Monk. Maybe those are my favorite. What are your thoughts?
I think I have more interest in this game than you do. Just with the way that the Kings have been playing lately, they're top 10 in pace now, and that number's been climbing ever since De'Aaron Fox got back to the starting lineup. And, I mean, they're facing against the Clippers, who are a top 5 defense, but they struggled to put away the Trailblazers last night. They gave up 127 points to them. So I think that just all these guys playing such heavy minutes might have a negative effect on their defense. So I think this game has a sneaky chance to shoot out. From a matchup perspective, the Kings are a little bit more vulnerable to interior scoring. Sabonis is not that great of a defender. So, I mean, guys like, Zubac, I have a good amount of interest in. I like Kawhi Leonard in this matchup. Paul George is in a good spot. James Harden projects really well, but he's I think more of a floor play for me. But yeah, De'Aaron Fox, I have a lot of interest in him as a contrarian spend up as well. Going to be a tougher matchup going against Terrence Mann, I'm guessing, is going to be the guy that's on him. But I mean, he's just been one of the best scorers this year. He's averaging 30.4 points per game. The Clippers on-ball defense has been a little bit down the last couple of games. They gave up 38 and 27 points to the duo of Anthony Simons and Shaedon Sharp last night. And all these guys played pretty heavy minutes, so I think they could have some tired legs. And Fox only played 33 minutes last night, still put up 29 points. And the last time these teams faced, he put up a 40 ball, 45 and 3 in 38 minutes. So I like him a lot as the low-owned late-night hammer. Been leading the team in possession minutes to almost 7 per game. And, yeah, I really like him a lot. Sabonis, like you said, is a contrarian spend as well. He's kind of gotten back to doing the normal Sabonis things after having a couple down games. His role has been increasing. Got over 54 front court touches per game, and he's averaging over 7 assists per game. So, I mean, his floor is pretty high just with all the rebounding and assist upside. And if he could add some scoring, definitely got really big upside. Matchup is a little bit tough, though. Zubac has been a really solid center defender this year. He shut down a couple bigger name guys. So tougher matchup for Sabonis. I prefer De'Aaron Fox to those two guys. Malik Monk's I have interest in too. Been one of the better 6 men in the league. He showed again last night, going for 21 and 9 in 28 minutes. So he's always got the opportunity to nuke a slate at 6.1K. So I think you got to keep him in mind. And yes, I really like Fox on the Sacramento side. Have some interest in Malik Monk, a little bit in Sabonis, but on the Clippers side, I mean, it's a really good matchup for Paul George. He hasn't really shown a ton of upside since James Harden's got into the lineup. I mean, last night he did put up a pretty solid fantasy game. We got 28 and 8, but it was only for 46 points. So I think he's probably my least favorite out of the three. I would be max one of Paul George, Kawhi, and James Harden, I think. Not sure more than one of them could get there. Maybe on a smaller slate, you can make it max two. But yeah, I like Kawhi Leonard a lot too. He's been probably the most consistent scorer on this team since Harden joined. Leads the team in usage when all three of them are on the court together. And in 4 straight games, he's seen over 38 minutes. I think the price tag is pretty fair for Kawhi at 8K. Similar story to James Harden too. Lower usage guy, but he's been leading the team in assist percentage when all three are on the court together, and he's got the cheapest price tag, but he's probably shown the least upside. So I think he probably is my second favorite, just price adjusted. And then, yeah, I mentioned Zubac. I think he's a really, really strong play at 6.2K. Sabonis has been a little bit – he's given up some bigger games to centers on the year, and Zubac with the pick and roll stuff has been really good with James Harden, and his minutes are way up there. Saw 33 minutes last game, 42 before that, so I think that he's pretty safe for around 32 minutes in this game, and he could definitely smash that price tag.
Man, this slate is tough. The Clipper side's interesting, but like PG, like they're going to get ownership, which is why, and like I'm going to be playing Lakers-Dallas game. I know that. That's the one thing that absolutely sticks out. Even if all these guys are in the Reeves price tags, the camp, like there's enough value. The cheapies are getting run, and I like the game environment the most. Outside of that, what are your thoughts on Trey Lyles? Center's completely loaded. That was the one position I'm trying to – you like Zubac. I'm definitely going to bump him. I think Vooch is interesting. I don't think I spent enough time on Vooch, but he has that upside. Like I'm not going to really get to the Jokic's right now unless value opens up. So what are your thoughts, Trey Lyles? I mean, definitely smashed last game. He ran good. The minutes were way up. I don't know if Sabonis was in foul trouble or something, but he got 30 minutes, 6 for 7 from the field, 30 DK points. Any thoughts there?
I'm looking at the rotation really quick. I'm trying to see if he got any extra blowout run or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, he played a pretty full second half.
He had 23 minutes, but he had 13, 16, 17, 17 before. Like, that was definitely his most minutes in a couple weeks.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Well. I don't know if that was why.
Yeah, I think – I mean, he played like a 15-minute second half stint, so I'm assuming that had something to do with it. I mean, it looked like he took away some minutes from Kevin Huerter a little bit because he was sharing the floor with Sabonis. Yeah, I don't know. He's always fine. 4K.
Any of those guys? All right. Before we get on out here, trying to get this like 3K to 4.6K range. Give me a couple of your favorites because man, is it gross. Assuming that they're in. Assuming we don't have the Grant Willie. Like assuming Luka's in, Hardaway, all these guys are in. Who are we going to?
Well, I know you said 4.6K, but I probably like Grant Williams the most. Just because I know that he's gonna play the minutes, and I guess it's a fine matchup for 3-point shooters if you want to consider him that, but definitely brings a little bit of foul risk. Going to be going against LeBron most likely. Let me look.
Pritchard, Prince, Cam Reddish.
I do think that Prince his minutes will be a little bit safer if Jared Vanderbilt were to be out, so I think he's probably fine at 4.1K. Just, I mean, really, what is the upside for him? I guess if he gets you 25, you'd be pretty happy with that.
I'm thinking even 20 in this range. Like you get 20 from any of these guys, 18, you just got to get the studs right. I'm not hoping for much right now. Thoughts on Vanderbilt if he plays?
I don't think that you need to go there. He's not going to see more than, I mean, just with the injury too, he's not going to see more than 14, 15 minutes, and he's a really low fantasy guy. He's just more of he's like the showdown punt play.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant the lockdown defender, but yeah.
Well, yeah, that's too. But
I know you meant it. Redisal play, I agree. Daniel Tice, someone's asking. Tice.
Yeah, I mean, he has been losing a little bit. I mean, he missed 2 games ago, but his minutes are a little bit down. Last game, he only saw 14 minutes just with Zubac playing heavier minutes, but he should, on a normal night, he'll see around 18 to 20 minutes, and he's been a really solid fantasy point per minute guy in his career. So I definitely think he's in play. He was originally in the slate plan before we got more of this news and just before I decided to want to kind of fade this lower range, but it's going to be a little bit tougher too unless you bump up some of the mid-tier plays. There was one guy who didn't mention, or a couple of guys who didn't really mention, Julian Strawther on the Nuggets. He saw 28 minutes last night. I mean, he had like his best game of his young career. He got 22 points, had 5 steals, took 16 shots. I don't think he's going to be doing that on a nightly basis, but I think if Jamal Murray were to be out, that would kind of secure his minutes in the second unit. So he probably sees close to 18 to 20 minutes and maybe would see more if the game were to blow out. So I think he's okay. I mean, he's probably the best option in that like sub 3.7K range. I think that he's one of the guys down there that will truly see minutes. And then Prosper, the Olivier Maxence Prosper on the Mavericks side, he'll be in play too if Derrick Jones Jr. and Tim Hardaway and Luka were to miss. But I think that's probably the only way I would get to him is if, for sure, all 3 miss, but maybe if 2 of them were to miss, I could see myself getting to him.
I like it. Yeah, the Strawther shout's really interesting because you do have that Jamal Murray upside if he does miss in that game. Most people are going to be playing, 3 games start early. Dallas Lakers will get a lot of ownership. So if you have late swap flexibility, you can definitely get there. And then the MPJs would be a stronger play. Denver would definitely be my second favorite spot on the slates. But like Go Collect said, a lot of Q-takes. I'm sure something will open up. Probably. That's how the NBA works. Just wanted to run through some more scenarios because right now, if the slate locked, value is pretty difficult. Good stuff as always, though, Rio. Again, we'll be in Discord, core plays, projections, ownership, everything will be updated throughout the night. All changes are in yellow. Get in the Discord. I forgot. Nate D did win. Someone was asking like how there's only so many options. How do you not guess it? My thoughts as well, but it was Eric Gordon, which I did not see. Nate D, there you go. That was the wrong answer. He said 74 or whatever it was. Let me get it right. So my man Jordan doesn't say it's rigged. There you go. info@shipitnation.com. Email, send your YouTube, send a picture with your YouTube as well. We will get you hooked up, you and Jake. Congrats to you guys. Shout out to DFS Juice as well, coming off the big win. Looking to keep it rolling tonight. Head over shipitnation.com. Again, get in the Discord. We do have weekly, monthly, 6-month, and annual packages. They all come with the Discord except the weekly. Monitor injury news. Anything else you got for the people, Rio?
No. Look forward to seeing the new members in Discord later tonight.
Absolutely. Nate and Jake. Jake's always on YouTube. So is Nate. Excited to have you guys. Make sure to get in an email. Good luck, everybody out there. We'll be back tomorrow, as always, talking a little bigger slate. For Rio, I'm Titletown. Good luck. Have a good one.